With this Pink Floyd Wish You Were Here guitar lesson, we'll focus on all the essential lead and rhythm guitar parts. With guitar tabs, chord diagrams, and an accompanied practice karaoke video, we're going to cover it all with the step-by-step approach. Now, on the original recording of Wish You Were Here, all the essential rhythm guitar parts are played on a 12-string acoustic. But since most of you don't own a 12-string guitar, we're going to learn to play Wish You Were Here on a 6-string acoustic, which will work just fine. You'll pretty much sound exactly like the original recording. And if you happen to play a 12-string down the road or get one, you can apply everything we learned this lesson to a 12-string acoustic. For the intro rhythm, we're going to use just two chord shapes, an open G and an open E minor 7. You may notice for both chords, our third and fourth fingers are anchored on the top two strings. And it's very important to use these chord voicings because for the intro, we're going to be combining bass line riffs with strum chords. And the key is to keep your fretting hand steady and in position. And that first step is to keep the third and fourth fingers anchored throughout the entire intro. So a good idea, a good first step is to do a one strum back and forth between both chords, the G, the E minor 7th, the G, E minor 7th. Let's jump into section 1. In section 1, we'll start with the G on that bottom string, 2nd fret. That's the first note. We're going to start with a bass line riff. And then we go to the 5th string and we're going to hammer with the first finger, 0, 2. So, and then we move up to the next string, 4th string, and we're going to play 0, 2 on that, but no hammering. We're going to pluck both notes. Let's put that bass line together. Keep these fretting fingers down, even though you're not playing the notes right now. We're going to jump into some strumming right away. So let's do that bass line again, keeping those fingers anchored. And then we start to strum, and we're going to focus on just the 4 strings while holding everything down. That becomes the E minor 7th chord. And the strum pattern on that is going to be down, up, down, down, up, up, down. Or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it from the beginning. 1, 2, ready, go. Here we play another riff, a 3-note riff. We're already in position to play it because on the E minor 7th chord shape, the 3rd string is open. That'll be the first note. And then we just go down a string, 2, 0. The 4th string, 2, we're already fretting it, and then we just let go for the final note. So that's the 3-note riff before we do the next strum pattern. But let's again back it up. From the top, slow walk through. 1, 2, ready, go. From there we go back to the original G chord shape. Middle finger goes down the bottom string, 3rd fret. And then that strum pattern will be we're doing is it's pretty much the same strum pattern, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, boom. But on that 4th beat, 4th count, we're actually going to play the bass note. That we're going to play the riff again to lead into section 2. So you sort of think about the same strum pattern, but you're going to make that last beat just the bass note by itself. Let's put it together from the top and see how it all sounds put together. 1, 2, ready, go. That's going to lead into section 2. Section 2 is pretty much the same as section 1, except for the very last strum note. we're going to strum the full chord for G rather than playing the bass note. So rather than for section 2, the ending will be down, up, down, down, up, down, strumming the full chord. Let's put together sections 1 and 2, get acclimated to playing the song in its actual running order. So we'll start from the very beginning, slow walk through. 1, 2, ready, go. For section 3, we're going to throw in some variations, starting by deleting the first note in the bass line. So we're just going to start with the hammer on the 5th string. That's the bass line for section 3. And then the strum pattern, we're going to change that up a little bit. It's going to go down, up, down, down, up, up. And then we're going to jump into a 4-note riff. Starting on that 4th string, 2, 0, 2, 0, down to the 5th string. So let's put that together from the beginning. Hear how it sounds. Slow walk through. 1, 2, ready, and. And then we're going to slight variation on the chord shape. Instead of fretting a G chord, we're just going to put the first finger down on that 4th string 2nd fret. Our new bass note will be the 5th string, and that changes the chord. Technically it'll be an A7 sus4, and we're going to strum it down, up, down, down, up, down. And that riff that precedes it, 2, 0, 2, 0. Putting it together from the beginning of section 3. Now section 4, you play it exactly the same as section 3. So what we'll do now is put together sections 3 and 4. That's how the running order of the song is going to go. So to get a better sense of the arrangement, let's play sections 3 and 4 together, same section twice. 1, 2, ready, go. For section 5, we'll start with a riff on the 5th string. It'll be a hammer from 0 to 2. So 0, 2 hammer, and then 0 again, and then a G chord, but this time it's a different voicing. The first finger will be down on the 5th string 2nd fret for this G, and then it's a strum chord following that riff. So here's how it sounds put together. Dun, dun, dun. Then after that, there's sort of a lingering strum pattern on that G chord. This section, the intro rhythm section, is repeated later on in the song for other solos. So there's going to be variations every time it's played. Again, part of the charm of the song is the loose strumming, but I will throw in a suggested strum pattern on what to do after the riff in section 5. So, dun dun, I would say, have the down strum and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another down strum, down, 1, 2, 3, 4. Something akin to that, something like that should work fine. But let's put it all together and hear how it sounds. 1, 2, ready, and. So let's review the complete intro now. We'll put together all 5 sections. We'll review it at a slower tempo. So here we go from the top. 1, 2, ready, go. Section 1 of the intro guitar solo will begin with a slide. We're going to use our second middle finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret. And we're going to slide up 2 frets from 2 to 4 on that 3rd string. Very important to use the correct finger numbers. It'll help keep the fretting hand steady in position throughout the complete solo. And what I mean by that is if we use our middle finger, our 1st finger is right there, ready to play that next note on the 2nd string 3rd fret. And you sort of count it in 3s. 1, 2, 3. Then the next set of 3 notes, our 3rd finger goes up, same 2nd string to the 5th fret, 5, down a string to the 4th fret, 4, and then back to the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. Counting off the frets, 5, 4, 3. And then once you know what notes or frets to play, you count it. 1, 2, 3. So let's put it together from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll do that again. And we slightly pivot the fretting hand. We're going to anchor our 1st finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret. We're going to have that pressed down. At the same time, we're also going to have our 3rd finger going up 2 frets because we're going to play a double pull-off here on that 3rd string. And how you do that, you keep that 1st finger down on the 2nd fret. The 3rd finger, you'll pluck it and then release or pull off. So both fingers have to be pressed down. And then you let go of the 1st finger as well. So you're going to sound 3 notes by only plucking the string once. And that might be a little tricky if you haven't played that before. And then we just go down 1 string and end that riff with the open 4th string. And then, again, keeping the fretting end steady in position, our 1st finger moves down, and we end section 1 with another little riff here. A slight slide up to the 5th string, a 2nd fret, and then the 4th string open twice. Bum, bum, bum. Backing it up to the double pull-off here. Dun, 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 dun. So let's play it now from the top. Section 1 of the intro, slow walk through. And we'll do one more. Section 2 features a bunch of double stops, playing 2 strings together at the same time. And we're going to start with the 1st finger flattened across the top 2 strings along the 3rd fret. And the riff begins with a slide. We're going to slide up 2 frets, again with the double stop, and then back down to the 3rd fret. Then shift the fingers like so. Middle finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the 2nd string 3rd fret. Focusing now on these 2 strings, moving it down 1 string, and we're going to again slide up 2 frets with this one. And then plucking, once we're up there, we pluck it again and slide down. So we're sliding up and down on this riff. So let's put together from the top. And then we're going to play that riff again with a little variation. Sliding up, sliding down again. This time we release, we let go, sounding the open 2 strings after that. And then the section ends with double stop here, sort of shifting the fingers. This time it'll be the 4th and 5th frets. So backing it up just a little bit. Now let's put it all together. Section 2, slow walkthrough. 1, 2, ready, go. And we'll do one more. Whenever you learn a guitar solo, it always helps to know what key you're playing in, as well as from a guitarist perspective, what box patterns you're using. And the Wish You Were Here guitar solo is in the key of G major. And the specific scale we're using is the G pentatonic major scale. And what's showing here on the screen is the box pattern for the G pentatonic major scale within the first 5 frets. And so if you look at the box pattern, you'll see that every note we've learned so far in sections 1 and 2 will fit within this box pattern. And again, in the long run, it makes it easier not only to understand the music theory behind the song, but if you visualize a box pattern, it makes it easier to memorize the solos as well. So let's get a good foundation by putting together sections 1 and 2 before moving on to the final 2 sections. So we'll do a slow walkthrough from the top. 1, 2, ready, go. Section 3 will start the same as section 1 with that 3rd string slide. Again, second middle finger slides up 2 frets, 2 to 4, first finger on that 2nd string 3rd fret. This time we go back down to the 3rd string 4th fret, and then, keeping the fretting hand steady in position, the 3rd finger extends up to the 2nd string 5th fret, and we're going to apply some slight vibrato on that note. You could push down if you want for the vibrato. There's a lot of ways to do it, but the one thing I would suggest is multiple, or at least 2 fingers on that vibrato. It simply gives you better control over the vibrato and better tone. So let's put it together from the top. And then, sort of a bend, but it's more of a release bend. And how we do that, it's going to be a little tricky. It's a reverse bend. So we're not emphasizing pushing up so much. It's almost silent as we push up, but we definitely sound the release, and then we release again. So we release down the bent 5th fret, releasing to the normal 5th fret, if you want to call it that, and then letting go to the 3rd fret. And then after that, down to the 3rd string 4th fret, boom, bum, and back to it. Let's do it from the beginning, slow walkthrough. And then we're going to add some vibrato on that 3rd string 2nd fret. Let's do it again from the top. This is a tricky section. Then from there, again, our fretting hand is steady in position, 3rd finger goes up, same string. We're going to do a bend on that 4th fret. So after we apply that vibrato, I'm going to kind of pivot up a little bit. Again, multiple fingers help for bending. So a bend on that 3rd string 4th fret, up to the 2nd string. And then I call this chicken picking. What that is balk, balk. You're kind of bending, but sort of muting it after the bend. So that those final 2 notes, if you look on the tab there, you'll see the bend on that 4th fret, but you're going to kind of mute that, and then put some sustain on that 3rd string 2nd fret. Backing it up a little bit to that previous bend on the 4th fret, the last, if you're looking at the tab, last 5 notes here, starting with that 4th fret bend. Bum, 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 bum. finally we'll put all of section 3 together. Slow walk through from the top. 1, 2, ready, go. For section 4, we begin again with that 3rd string slide, 2 frets. 2nd string, 3rd fret, back down. So that same sort of intro. And again, the vibrato on that 2nd string, 5th fret. Then we're going to bend the same note, bend it again, and then release down to the 3rd fret. So it'll be a bend, and then back up to the 5th fret. Let's do that again. It's a little tricky. And then, so that's the real phrase there. We want to throw in that last note with the vibrato. And then section 4 will end with a bend again on that 3rd string, 4th fret. So if you look at the tab there, you'll see the curve above that 4th bent note, because we release down to 4. We don't pluck 4 again. We do pluck that 3rd string, 2nd fret to end section 4. Let's put it all together. We'll do a slow walkthrough from the top. 1, 2, ready, go. We'll do that one more time. Maybe I'll get that bend to sound better. The next clip, you can practice the complete intro solo along with a backing rhythm track. But before doing that, I wanted to bring up a couple pointers regarding the timing of the solo. Pretty much it's a call and response approach to the Wish You Were Here intro solo. And what I mean by that is that the rhythm guitar is providing a call. And then once that note is played is when each solo section begins. So a lot of you may be nervous about keeping up with everything, but the whole point of the solo, it's got that sort of relaxed sort of feel. Timing is very important. So you want to start each section only after you hear, or I should say that last note of each call is played. Second pointer regarding timing is on section 1, that note right there, the 4th string open, that note is going to land exactly at the same time the rhythm guitarist plays this riff. Again, that's the 4th string open. So while you're playing the solo, once you can keep up with everything, kind of take note to land that note with the solo, have that D note harmonize at exactly the same time with the rhythm guitar, and that'll make things a little bit more cohesive, which is real important, that timing, as far as having the solo sound good. The verse sections are an 8-chord sequence, and we'll start with a C chord. You can play a regular C, but if you want to match the original recording, it'll actually be a C/G chord. And from a regular C, take the 3rd finger Shift down to the bottom string 3rd fret. Place the pinky on the 5th string 3rd fret. That's the C/G. Again, a regular C will be fine. It's a very subtle difference. And then we'll go to a D, an open A minor, and then a G chord voicing where we have our 3rd finger down on the 2nd string 3rd fret. Now, the strum pattern will be the same pattern that we closed out the intro with on that G chord, with that down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up for each chord. And again, that's a general way to approach this strum pattern. It's a very loose sort of strum on the original recording. Again, this is just a way to fall into it. But let's do that right now. Let's start to work on the verse section with that strum pattern. We'll work on the first initial A chord sequence, which will be C, D, A minor, G. And then for the next 4 chords, just reverse the running order of that initial 4 chord sequence to D, C, A minor, G. So the A chord sequence to memorize: C, D, A minor, G, D, C, A minor, G. And we'll show the lyrics as well if you want to work on syncing the lyrics with the chord changes. Here we go from the top. 1, 2, ready, go. For the second or middle solo section, the rhythm guitar parts are strummed the same as the intro section. The solo on the original recording features a dobro tuned to open G. And what we're going to do with this lesson is show you how to sort of copy or emulate those dobro riffs on a 6-string acoustic. And in fact, if you listen to live recordings of Wish You Were Here, David Gilmour is soloing on a 6-string acoustic as well. Now, if you know how to improvise, that would be great. If you listen to those recordings, those live recordings, or the karaoke practice video, you can get some ideas for riffs. Now, if you don't know how to improvise in G pentatonic major, I would suggest we copy these basic riffs we're about to cover. And the one thing you want to do is visualize the box pattern. So what's shown on the screen here, most of the riffs we're about to cover will be the G pentatonic major scale along the 10th fret position, and then sometimes they go up to the 12th fret position, the box pattern up there. And just like the intro, the section, we can break it off into 4 sections, and that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to break it into 4 sections, 1 section at a time. For section 1, we start with a slide on the 2nd string up to the 12th fret. You want to use multiple fingers to get good vibrato. I'm going to use the 1 and 2 fingers. You could use the 2 and 3 if you prefer that. Sort of a long slide, not too long, but to get that dobro effect, to emulate that sort of slide effect with the dobro, maybe bring it down 4 or 5 frets, and it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3. And then apply a little vibrato after that. 1, 2, 3. And then yet another slide. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And then, now again, you could use your 2 and 3 fingers. But what that's going on there is we're going to the top string 12th fret and then down to the 10th fret and applying some vibrato. 1 finger vibrato, which means using your fingertip as much as possible to get that maximum tone and vibrato out of that. So let's put that together from the top. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. That's how you would count it. And then we've got some notes that are sort of lingering around. 1, 2, 3. If you listen to the original recording. So you don't have to emphasize these notes too much. It's sliding back up to the 12th fret. But to match the original recording, that's what you do. Let's put it together one more time from the top. 1, 2, ready, go. Section 2 starts with a 2-note riff, again sliding on that second string to the 12th fret, and then going to the top string, 10th fret, and applying some one-finger vibrato on that first string. 1, 2, then back down to that second string, 1, 2, 3. What I mean, I counted it before I told you the notes, but it's 12, 11, 12. So if we piece that together using a count, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and then playing that 12th fret again, 1, 2. And it's a little tricky here, but what we're going to do is play that 12th fret. It's kind of moving down to that 7th fret position, but we're going to immediately bar. So you connect the 12, 7, and then we keep going down, 1, 2, 3. And with that, again, along that 7th fret position, that's the key, is flattening the first finger. And then 7, 7, pluck that 7 again, and ending that riff. Now, it depends what headphones you have on. I can barely hear this. This is sort of a guesstimate. Don't have to worry about getting exact, but let's put together all of section 2. For section 3, same 2-note riff starts it. 1, 2. Then we add an extra note the second time around. 1, 2, 3. So from the beginning, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Then I would count this. The next group of notes, we'll put it together as a 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what that involves is top string, 10th fret, and skipping a string down to the 3rd string. So 10, down to the 3rd string, 12th fret, shifting the 3rd finger over, 2 fret slide to 14. So that same technique we did to start it. Let's do it from the beginning. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then boom. Going back down, I would do that as a 1 count on that 14th fret. Let's do it again. And then, again, copying the original recording, sort of hangs around that 14th fret, 2nd string 14th fret, that note I should say on the dobro. Kind of 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put it all together. 1, 2, ready, go. For section 4, we start with that same 2-note riff on the top 2 strings. 1, 2, that's how you'll count it. And then we sort of pivot up to the 12th fret position instead of the 10th. We're going to go back and forth between the 3rd and 2nd strings. And it's going to be, and that's sliding up to the 14th fret, then the next string 12th fret, back down to that 14th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4 is how I would count it. So from the top, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then shifting the 1 and 3 fingers up to the top 2 strings, and we do that same riff we opened with, just 2 frets higher. And then I like to use the 2 finger, the middle finger, down on the 14th fret. We're going to do a slide from 14 to 10 and apply some vibrato on that. And I think the 2nd finger is a little bit stronger for that. So let's put it together from the top. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, dun, dun. That completes section 4, but let's throw in, I guess technically this is another section, section 5. The whole solo ends with a double stop. 3rd finger anchored on the 2nd string 12th fret, first finger on that first string 10th fret, and then again it's a dobro. We're sort of emulating that sound. You could just sort of sustain it, or you could sort of ride it a little bit. And what's going on there is there's a G chord sort of playing to lead into the next section, so you can sort of lean on that double stop any way you wish. And let's piece that together with what we just did in the final section. The 8-chord progression we just covered will be repeated for the chorus section as well. So let's review that. We have different lyrics to sync up. I'll just do the strumming, but we'll show the lyrics on the screen and we'll work out that 8-chord progression for the chorus. So here we go from the top. 1, 2, ready, and... For the final solo, or the Coda section, again the solo features a dobro, and we're going to copy some of those riffs on the original recording, so emulate or copy them on a 6-string acoustic. And we're not going to play it note for note. It's very hard to decipher the riffs exactly as they are. Again, if you know how to improvise in G pentatonic major, even better. But otherwise, we're going to show you some real basic riffs that copy what you hear on the original recording. And again, we can break it off into 4 sections, just like the intro and the middle solo sections. But just prior to the first section, there's a little lead-in riff, and we're going to cover that one right now. With our first finger on that 2nd string 3rd fret, this is the G pentatonic major box pattern along the 3rd fret position. And here's how we'll start it. You're going to go back and forth between that 2nd string 3rd fret and then down to the 3rd string 4th fret. And you're going to go back and forth, da, do, da, da, and then go up to that 2nd string 5th fret. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to add a little vibrato on that 3rd string 4th fret. And I would count this riff as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then, staying on that 3rd string 4th fret, boo ba boo ba, sliding up to the 5th fret to end it. Boo da boo ba. So that sort of lead-in riff played on that final G chord is going to sound like this. For section 1, we'll start with the slide on that 2nd string up to the 12th fret, 12, and then while staying on the same string, 12, 10, 8, 8. Dun, 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 dun. Then, shifting, pivoting down a little bit, we go to the 3rd string now with our first finger, 7, 9, and then a little slide up to 12. So putting that phrase together, dun, 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 and then a 4-note phrase to end the section. We'll put it all together now, section 1. Section 2 begins with a 4-note riff, first finger on the 2nd string 8th fret, and then the middle finger on the 3rd string 9th fret. We go back and forth, then 3rd finger on the 2nd string 10th fret. And you would count that with the 4 count, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then keeping that 3rd finger down on the 2nd string, the next phrase begins with a bend on that 10th fret. Again, multiple fingers, 1 and 2, scrunched together there for better control and tone. Let me do that better. And you use that pinky to fret the top string 10th fret. And then we pivot the fretting hand up, and we're going to move up to the 10th fret position with the 1st finger. With our 3rd finger 2 frets higher on the 12th fret, a pull off, 12 to 10, then down to that 2nd string 12th fret. So that phrase, starting with that bend, now let's back it up to the beginning of this section. We'll play that 4-note phrase that starts it. Then keep that 3rd finger anchored, slide it down 2 frets, another bend on that 10th fret, multiple fingers. And we're going to go up to that 7th fret on the 1st string. So 3 frets apart, dun, dun, and then a pull off from 10 to 8 on the 2nd string. Now you could go back up. I'm tempted to do that. I don't know if they do that exactly on the original recording, but I'm going to throw that in there. Dun, 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 dun. And then back to the 10th fret. A little vibrato, or you can even sort of mute it. Dun, dun. That's the gist of it. Again, we're sort of trying to copy or emulate the dobro effect on the recording. There's that slide effect. Let's play that riff again. Dun, 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 dun. That's the gist of it. Now let's put together all of section 2. Slow walk through. 1, 2, ready, go. And again, you could pull off or just pluck the 10 to 8. Whatever works on that if you pull off. Or both sound just as good. For section 3, we start with a slide up to the 2nd string 12th fret. We're going to use our 3rd finger. And then up to the top string 10th fret. We're going to count that in 3s, and we're going to play this 3-note riff 3 times. It's going to sound like this. Then back to that 2nd string 12th fret and a pull off. And then, minor detail, but you can sort of combine a pull off and hammer effect, only plucking that string once, or you can just pull off, but let's include that hammer back up. And then, staying on that same string, sliding up to the 14th fret, whoops, and getting that top string 12th fret with a little bit of vibrato. Let's back it up to the beginning and put it together with what we got so far. 1, 2, ready, go. Then, while we have that sustain going in the vibrato, we're going to slide down. Dun. And then we end with a 4-note riff, sliding back up on that 2nd string 12th fret. And all that is 12, top string 10th fret, back down to the 2nd string. And then, depends on how you're playing, you could use your pinky or your 3rd finger. Or put all of section 3 together now from the beginning. Slow walk through. 1, 2, ready, go. On the original recording, the song begins to fade out on section 4. And so we have one more riff here remaining. And again, we're just sort of coming close to what we hear played on the dobro on the original recording. And again, it's a slide on that 12th, up to the 12th fret on the second string. And then a little sort of long slide down there. And then what I do is I go back to somewhat of a riff we played in earlier sections. Middle finger on the 3rd string, 9th fret, first finger anchored on the 2nd string, 8th fret. Do da do da do. Little 5-note riff. Do da do da do. And then we end with a 4-note riff starting on that 2nd string and going up to that 10th fret, 2nd string. Da do da da. And backing it up to the 5 notes before that. Do da do da do, da do da da. So if we put together that complete section, we just start with that sliding 2-note riff here. Once you have each section down, the next step is to put together a complete arrangement or performance of the song. And you can do that by practicing along with my Wish You Were Here guitar karaoke video. And with that karaoke video, you can either practice singing along with Wish You Were Here karaoke, playing guitar with Wish You Were Here karaoke, or doing both.